Alright, like I said, here's another episode, segment of Hero-Villain Mashup. Now, before I go any further, just something I want to clear up, because I don't think I made it clear enough in the first two segments. These are not meant to be like fight videos. These are not like fight videos at all. If anything, they're more like a variation of the What They Think segment. Only it's instead of, two heroes or two villains talking to each other and thinking of what they would think of one another, this is more like, what would be the scenario if this villain or villains had to battle this hero or these heroes? So I have seen a lot of people be like, oh, this versus this, and my thing is that, and I appreciate, suggestions, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the suggestions, it's just, these are not fights. These are in no way supposed to be like a version of the fight sections. The only thing I'm doing right now is, the Captain America fight sections right now, and then moving on to the next section, and then on and then on. So just wanted to clear that up. Although, again, I do appreciate suggestions here and there, but I do want to see, just wanted to clear up that these are not meant to be fight videos. They're meant to, really spark up some discussions, you know what I mean? These are meant to spark up discussions and really make people think, like, how these kind of scenarios would play out. I'm not trying to be a jerk here, by the way. I was just wanted to clear that up, because I don't think I made that clear in the first two segments. I just kind of threw them out there, and I felt like I was a little vague. So hopefully here I can clear the air right now. Having said that, though, let's go on to talk about the this segment's hero-villain mashup, and this one is heroes and villains mashup. It's two organizations, Hellsing and Hydra. So what would it be like if Hellsing had to go up against the likes of Hydra? Now, Hydra is a lot like Millennium, and in the other way, it's not. Hydra, like Millennium, started out as a Nazi group and became its own thing, its own terrorist organization in the Marvel Universe. They do have advancements in science, but they also have other divisions. They have, they have a magic division, they have a covert ops division, and, they have so many different subgroups as well. Let's also not forget that, the age-old Hydra mantra, cut one head off to take its place. Hydra has a lot more resources than Millennium, and a lot more, well, I wouldn't say saner leadership, but a little more focused than the Major was. Although you gotta give credit to the Major. His plan for killing Alucard, quote-unquote killing Alucard, was pretty brilliant. But having said that, though, the Major knew he wasn't going to do well. That was the thing, is that this was one big, he wanted to have war with and use the last battalion. And Alucard, Hellsing, and even Iscariot, could easily take on the last. But they had some heavy losses, but they managed to defeat the last battalion. Now, if Hellsing had to go up against Hydra, if they had to fight Hydra, it would be a completely different story, because unlike Millennium, which had only an X amount of resources and weapons, and they're more or less using classic World War II weapons. Hydra, on the other hand, is usually on the cutting edge in terms of science, technology. Even they study magic, like I said, and they really come out with some scary weapons. I mean, Thor ordnance level weapons, meaning that they have guns and weapons and bombs that can even hurt the likes of Thor and the other Asgardians and other gods. So these guys can actually have weapons that can hurt gods, even weapons that can even hurt the Hulk. So, and in some cases, in some comics, yeah, they have weapons that can hurt, beings like the Surfer or Uatu. So, put Hydra, which is with its vast amount of resources and its endless supply of soldiers, and put them against Hellsing, let's put this in the time period of when Hellsing had, the wild geese, Alucard, Ceres, Walter, and Ceres. Integra, I already said Ceres. So that would be the time period before their whole battle for London and Walter betraying them, as well as Bernadotte and the majority of the wild geese getting killed off, as well as Ceres losing her arm and becoming a full vampire. This would be, a very interesting time because, again, Hellsing would be completely outgunned by Hydra. Like I said, they have an endless supply of soldiers and weapons and, units, as well as, operatives that can easily do a lot of damage. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. But what about Alucard? He's the end-all, be-all badass. Yes, he is. He is the end-all, be-all badass. Here's the thing, though. I'm pretty sure these guys could come up with something to not maybe wound, if not kill Alucard. And I know, yeah, Alucard is Dracula. He is the most powerful vampire and probably one of the most powerful characters in the anime period. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say, like, oh, Alucard sucks or anything in this video. Alucard's one of my favorite anime characters. Hellsing's one of my favorite animes, period. But I gotta look at this, because like I said earlier, Hydra carries weapons that could easily wound or kill Thor, a god. Even the Hulk can be wounded they have weapons to hurt the Hulk, and even the Surfer. So and also, these guys have fought Dracula. They have fought Dracula and, harvested vampire DNA to create their own race and mixed it with Thor's blood to make their own race of gods. That was in the Captain America Hail Hydra miniseries, so, yeah. But yeah, these guys have weapons that can hurt some very powerful beings. They may not be gods themselves, but they made some weapons that could easily kill a few. So Alucard, who is incredibly powerful, may get wounded or killed by these things. These people, like I said, these people have gone head-to-head with Dracula and made him recoil. So what do you think they're going to do to a guy who is pretty much Dracula in the same way? Yeah, he's pretty much Dracula. So they could actually have weapons that could kill a god on a guy who's godlike. Yeah, it's not going to turn out well for Alucard. Let's also not forget these. Like I said earlier, Hydra does have a magic division. You see, it was just kind of pretty much pseudoscience that took out Alucard in the final episode, the final chapter of Hellsing Ultimate and the manga, where the Major did something as simple as getting Scrousinger. I just cannot pronounce that name. Scrousinger to kill himself and merge with Alucard's blood, making him a paradox in and of himself. And granted, yeah, Alucard came back in 30 years' time, but if you mixed, science that Hydra has with the magic they've tapped into, and I'm talking like old Nordic magic, black magic, satanic magic, voodoo magic, they've tapped into all kinds of all types of sorcery and used it to even combat Doctor Strange, and the master of the mystic arts. Let's also not forget that like I said, Hydra has some very powerful people behind it. The Red Skull, Baron Zemo, Baron Strucker, his children, the Von Strucker twins, Gorgon, Kraken, the Hive, which was from the Hickman run, the Hickman Secret Warriors run, and all of those people. Now they couldn't fight Alucard head on, but you put those brains together, they're probably going to come up with something that could either hurt or kill him. Let's also look at, let's not just talk about Alucard. Let's talk about the other people in Hellsing that these people could easily match wits with. Especially, oh god, I could totally see a game of wits between Strucker and, Von Strucker and Integra. Those two would, the Major was insane, but he was smart. If you took that madness and, to a whole new level and made it, just a narrow, focused thought, you get Von Strucker, or worse, the Red Skull. Those two, Integra the higher ups in Hydra would be playing this kind of cat and mouse chess game with Hellsing itself. They would be testing their forces. They would be, learning information. They wouldn't, Hydra would not just launch this all-out attack like the Major did. They wouldn't launch one big giant invasion force unless absolutely necessary. What they would do, however, is focus all of their research and time on how to take out these certain creatures, Ceres, she would be in this time period, because like I said, this is the time period we have Walter, the Wild Geese, Ceres, Alucard, and Integra that make up Hellsing. So what they would kind of do is just recon the area, brainstorm on how to kill and mentally take apart each person. They'd look at Walter, they'd be like, okay, Walter, he's a former vampire hunter, he's a master hand-to-hand fighter, and he uses these strings to cut through solid, that can even cut through solid steel. What do we have to battle that? Good, we got that. Okay, that's how we'll kill Walter. How are we going to kill Integra? Okay, she's just human, but she's incredibly intelligent, a damn good shot and swordsman. How we'll figure out this way. Okay, that's how it's going to be. Is that they're not going to fight. They're not going to jump guns blazing in with kind of like what Millennium did. They're going to be a little more smarter about it. Hell, I could even see them looking at Millennium and be like, "Yeah, this is doomed to fail. We got this." I'm not trying to sound mean or anything, but about this, but I'm just kind of looking at it as a comic book fan and a fan of Hellsing. So let's talk about how Hellsing could try to combat Hydra. Alucard, Ceres, Wild Geese, Walter, and Integra herself, all of them together are a very dangerous fighting force. These guys could easily go through basic Hydra agents like tissue paper, all of them. And, Alucard, like I said earlier, he's one of the most powerful beings out there, and he could probably kill kill and consume a couple hundred, if not thousand, Hydra agents. And you have Ceres, who, like I said, at this time period hadn't consumed Bernadotte yet, and she would still be... She's pretty strong. I mean, remember the Harkonnen cannons she had at towards the end of the series? Yeah, those two huge guns used to protect the Hellsing Manor. Yeah, those could easily tear through a lot of Hydra soldiers, if not, their tanks and jets and other things. So you also have not only, the higher-ups like Red Skull, Baron Zemo, Von Strucker, and a few other characters in the Hive group, Hellsing has to try to figure out to stop. But also, you have their other operatives, Gorgon, Grim Reaper, Agent, what's her name? Viper. I'm trying to remember. Damn it! What's her face? Shit. Oh, well, I forgot her name, but I forgot that other person's name. But yeah, Kraken is another one. All these people are going to be, working around the clock, and Alucard and the others, they're going to be playing a very dangerous game of cat and mouse with people who have more resources than them, more time than Millennium had. You see, because unlike Millennium, which has been around since, for nearly 50 years, Hydra's been around since mankind walked on the Earth. They didn't really, they've been around for a long-ass time. Hydra has been around since man could make words. So they're pretty patient, and they've picked up a few things along the way. But, yeah, this is a really... this is going... just these two organizations would be clashing. It's really hard to tell, because even though Hellsing is clearly outgunned, they are, in no stretch of the imagination, would not be going down without a fight, and they could easily pull out a win. I mean, I could definitely see, Integra gathering, Ceres, Walter, and all the others together, and pretty much being like, look, this is how we've got to stop them. We are vastly outnumbered, but here's how we can take them out. Integra is just a master strategist. She's going to be able to try to look at all the little points within Hydra and be like, okay, we got to hit here, 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 and here. We'll cripple them, and we'll get them to back off from us, and we can go about our business. That's how I kind of see it. So, in this these two organizations clashing, it would be nothing short of just bloody, just one big bloody war. That's all I could say. So anyway, guys, I really want to know, what do you guys think it would be like if Hellsing and Hydra were enemies? What would it be like if Hellsing and Hydra were the most bitterest of enemies? And how do you think Hydra would try to combat Alucard and Ceres and Walter? How do you think they could come up with something like that? And how do you think Hellsing would be able to combat something like Hydra? Anyway, once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and can't wait to see what you guys come up with in the comments. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.